It's like, yes, she said the N-word.
So what?
You say the N-word all the time. If you're so upset about somebody saying the N-word, then you probably shouldn't use it as well. A white girl named Lily is going viral on the internet for saying the N-word. Let's get right into it.
Okay, this time I have a beef with the male community. I give my criticisms to all because we are all about equity and inclusion here, right? So I'm sick and tired of all girls getting blamed, or like guys, certain guys, thinking that all girls are gold diggers. I don't know if it's because you get your information from those street interviews in like Miami at 3 a.m. outside of a nightclub. You're getting the opinion of some dumb whores and immigrants fresh off the boat looking for a green card. Yes, they are probably gold diggers, but that's the exception. I'm the rule. Everybody I know who's married right now, they're married to broke.
And that right there is what got her in a bunch of hot water or whatever is seemingly like hot water. I don't necessarily think of it as such. It's just funny to me how people can give so much power to a word that is just like innocuous. It's like she didn't direct it at you, first off.
So get over it.
She was referring to men, which is something that a lot of people do anyway when they use that word. She didn't like hard ER or anything. I like don't disagree with anything she said here other than the fact that she's talking about how all of them aren't gold diggers or whatnot, which is very, very true. But then she brings up like the people that are in these street interviews are mostly like people that are fresh off the boat or something like that. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think a lot of the people who do have those unrealistic expectations of men are American born and bred. So I don't necessarily agree with her on that. But as far as her just talking about everything she said in this video, it's a fact. Most people are just so emotional in this like internet age or whatever to where it's like the slightest thing can just set you off. It's like, yes, she said the N-word.
So what?
You say the N-word all the time. If you're so upset about somebody saying the N-word, then you probably shouldn't use it as well. It's just, I see all of these people on the internet going so wild and going so nuts that this little white girl is talking about men or is saying the N-word so freely. And it's just like, you say the N-word freely anyway. It's like, why should there be a different set of rules for you just because? And here's the thing that bothers me even more. It's like, okay, let's get this straight. You and no one living in America right now that's black has ever been a slave. Unless you're 100 years old or over 100 years old. And even then, I don't necessarily think you were a slave. You're not a slave. So the fact that this word upsets you so much, it's like you need to really do some real self-evaluation there. Because it's like, why does this bother you so much when other people say it that are not your ethnicity, but you say it all the time? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. And it's just like, yo, get over yourselves.
It's not the end of the world.
If all people have to do is just go on the internet and provoke emotions and just say things that they're not supposed to say or whatever, then a lot more people are going to do it. Stop giving these people the power and stop giving words the power to control your emotions.
And they don't care. We don't give a fuck about your money. I couldn't care less about your fucking money, okay? My type is broke mechanics and surfer hippie dudes who just want to live in a shack and surf and have babies. All I ask of a man is that you're competent, you're not a pussy. If somebody broke into our house at 3 a.m., you would know how to grab a gun and shoot a motherfucker. That's pretty much all we ask. Like, that's pretty much like all girls I know. I don't know one girl who's a gold digger. So stop throwing us all under the bus as if we're all gold diggers.
That's anecdotal evidence, and I'm not necessarily going to go too deeply into that, but everything she's saying here is facts from what I can see and what I can tell. Now, I don't necessarily know in terms of like all the anecdotal stuff that she's talking about, like every girl that you know. Yeah, sure, every girl that you know probably does have this perception or is with a broke ass nigga or whatever. She's not even using the word nigga in the way that people are like absorbing it in. It's so weird to me how people can be so provoked by this girl. It's like she's referring to all men when she uses the N-word, which is something that a lot of women do, by the way, specifically black women. And I don't necessarily mean to single out black women, but black women are the ones who are always talking about niggas ain't shit, this, that, and the third. You guys aren't referring to black men or black people when you say the N-word in that context. You're referring to all men in general. So that's exactly what she's doing here. The fact of the matter is you guys are upset that she's white and she's the one saying this, and just admit that, number one. But also, yo, she said a word. Move the fuck on. You guys are legitimately launching this girl's career into stardom right now by just being provoked so easily that it's just like, I think like the girl was a nobody like 2 days ago, and now all of a sudden she has like almost 100,000 subscribers or followers on Twitter or something. And it's just like, you guys did this. You guys are the ones that are giving this girl the power that she has and the power and fame that she's going to get, because your emotions are just not in check.
That's on you.
As for everything else she said there, she's speaking facts. She's speaking 100% facts. And we need more women like her, because a lot of these women out here who are always talking about the nonsense of like, well, you know, we just need to care about everybody's feeling. No, fuck that. We need women like this lady, who is attractive, by the way. Let me not forget to mention that. But we need women like this lady who are not afraid to say their mind and just
be direct.
I cannot stress enough how happy I am for this girl right now, because it's not even something that's upsetting to me. I like seeing people be raw. I like seeing people be real. I like people speaking their fucking minds, because it's something that we've gotten so away from in America right now that it doesn't even like make any sense. Yes, she said an N-word. Yes, she used it in a context that it's acceptable to use it in any stretch of the imagination. Anybody who is saying that, well, this girl is racist or whatever, you can maybe make the case or whatever, because she was talking about immigrants coming to the country or whatever, but that's a stretch in and of itself. So it's just like, dude, get over it, man. Let me finish this really quick, and then I have another clip of her that I think is going viral, of her saying something else that I think is really, really important.
First, because we don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about your money. My dating history consists of all broke guys. I actually don't even like rich guys. They have an attitude. They're spoiled brats. They don't know anything about real life. I was raised on a farm with 4 brothers, so I can't deal with the bullshit. I don't like a pussy. I hate pussies.
Thank you. Women speaking up is needed in society right now, because that's the only way we're going to be able to combat some of the nonsense that we're seeing from the other women that are actually fucking insane. Now, let's switch to this other clip, because she says something very important in this other one as well, and I want people to really, really grasp what she's saying.
So all those nerds in high school, like the weird theater kids and the anime people, and you know who I'm talking about, the people we didn't hang out with. So they've grown up now, and they're the ones making the laws. They're the Mark Zuckerbergs. They're the Faucis of the world, of fucking nerds. Those fucking dorks that never got laid in high school, and they've got a major chip on their shoulder against the normies. That's why you see all these fat ass fucks making laws. Oh, you can be obese and anorexic. Okay, sure. They're the ones inventing clown world. They're the ones in media. They're the actors. You wonder why actors are so politically leftist? Oh, right. It's because they're loser theater kids. They're the theater kids who grew up, and now they're telling me and you what to think. They're telling me and you what to do, and they're making the laws in this country. Well, it's time to stand the fuck up and stop being scared. Like, why are we scared of these people? They were massive losers in high school, and they're massive losers today. It's time to put the motherfucking nerds back in their place. Stand the fuck up.
All right, that's the end of that one. But she is speaking facts, even though I don't agree with the rhetoric that she's using here and calling them fucking nerds and all of this nonsense. And by the way, I just got to correct you there. It's not anime, it's anime. Like, just like calm down a little bit there. But she's speaking facts. If you look at all of the wealthiest people in the world, they were all nerds. Like, let's just be 100% about this. They were nerds that worked hard. And listen, I respect all of these people, so I'm not throwing shade by any stretch of the imagination at these people, but they were all nerds. Bezos was a nerd. Like, think about I don't know if anybody has seen the picture or whatever, or the image of when he was like just starting Amazon off, and like, I'm probably gonna link it in this video. I'm gonna pull it up, but that's a nerd. That's not a dude that was getting laid very much by any stretch of the imagination. Bezos now, after he's made all his billions, can probably have whatever chick he wants, but that's a nerd. Zuckerberg, nerd. Gates, nerd. I'm sure Elon Musk, nerd. All of these guys that created these massive conglomerates were nerds, and there's nothing wrong with nerds. Don't get me wrong. I actually love nerds. It's just like, she's speaking the truth. Now, the prescription that she has for it is something that I don't necessarily agree with, in terms of like, put them back in their place or whatever. It's like, first off, that's going to be very, very difficult to do, because all of these guys are insulated to a degree that I don't think people can even imagine. Because if Zuckerberg, if Gates, if none of them wanted their feet to touch the ground ever again, they have enough money to do it. So they're not necessarily accessible, and we can like get them and put them in their place. That's number one. But number two, it just doesn't make sense to me how we don't necessarily just promote just not bullying people in high school. I think the very truth of what she's saying here is that these kids were probably bullied in high school, and yes, they do grow up in that. Yes, they do grow up resentful and everything like that. But the fact of the matter is, if you didn't bully them in high school, if they didn't grow up resentful,
we wouldn't be here in the first place.
They probably wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing now in the world, and the world would probably be a better place as a consequence of that. So I don't necessarily agree with her prescription of it, but her diagnosis of everything that's going on here, that's a fact. Like, nothing she said there is wrong. Her rhetoric might have been a little bit vulgar and everything like that, but I don't necessarily care about that. If you're somebody who does care about that,
you need to grow the fuck up.
Turn off social media, go outside and touch grass. Just do that. Now, I'm going to end off this video by saying this, guys. We need to stop being so easily triggered in America and just in the zeitgeist in general, because we are pussies nowadays, and that pussydom, or whatever the fuck we want to call it, needs to be torn away. Like and this, I'm speaking specifically to men too, even though I think women are kind of the underlying cause of this. We as men need to stop being pussies as well, because we are the enforcement arm of the world. And when men are weak, guess what? Society is weak, and we need to regain our strength and regain our masculinity as a whole, because that's the only way we're going to get out of the nonsense that we're getting out of. Now, let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought when you saw this video, what you guys think of this girl and everything that she said in terms of her messaging and whatnot. I want to thank you all, as always, for joining me on this video, because you guys could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I really do appreciate you. If you liked what you heard today, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't like what you heard, thanks for watching the whole video. Consider leaving a comment in the comment section and telling me exactly what you disagreed with. Either way, thanks for joining me on this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.